start with Man United, actually. A tough game this weekend against Nottingham Forest, but a really good comeback against Aston Villa, who have beaten some big teams this year, dominated some big teams. Do you think Man United fans have a right to feel proud of that performance, optimistic maybe of a resurgence, or do you think it's just one good 45 minutes? Don't get your hopes up. What are you saying, bro?
You know, the game that happened is exactly why Man United fans are pissed off at Ten Hag, and rightfully so. Because had Man United won just 2 or 3 more games out of their idiotic losses that they had, they would have been 4th comfortably right now. Thing is, I think Man United have manufactured a lot of their own downfall. Like the Champions League, many people agree that probably Onana is probably one of the biggest culprits, if not the biggest culprit of them exiting that group stage. And once again, the same stuff that I spoke about on the Straight Facts last week, I spoke about the midfield balance. Eriksen, Mainu, Bruno. It's never about dropping Bruno. It's never about dropping McTominay. It's about getting a balance in the team. And that team is just a lot more balanced. Dropping Anthony, who's continuously stinking up the pitch. And now you bring in Garnacho and you give Højlund a chance and you don't substitute him 50 minutes in. This is what you get. Erik Ten Hag this season has made 4, 5, 6 mistakes on a consistent basis that have cost Man United multiple points. And now we're watching it happen with the Villa game. And you know, the biggest culprit of the Villa game, despite Garnacho's brilliance, Højlund scoring that amazing goal, Bruno being so creative in that game, the biggest culprit of that loss is Unai Emery. And it's funny because Lee Gunner 2 days before the game spent the whole Straight Facts just doing Unai Emery props, you know, if you would like. And then he goes and he does that. And once I always tell people, because here's the thing, I don't want to start a whole monologue about Unai Emery, but I will be saying this because this is something that I've been consistent on from a while. This is exactly why Unai Emery is not the 3rd best manager in the league. Stuff like this is exactly why. Managing a club like an Aston Villa or managing a club like a Brentford is completely different to managing a football club like Man United, Arsenal, etc. And you could tell already on Unai Emery's track record. He failed at Arsenal and he failed at PSG. He's very good at Sevilla. He's very good at Villarreal. Why? Because imagine the roles were reversed. Imagine Unai Emery was Man United manager and he was 2-0 up against Aston Villa and he decided to play that high line that cost you the goals. It would have been 10 questions in the press conference. It would have been headline news. Unai Emery cost Man United the 3 points. So it's a completely different challenge, kind of having that whole scenario. And my thing is, I always say, I don't care about. I'm not saying you should abandon your principles, but when it's 2-2, as an example, okay, you've bottled it. You were 2-0 up. Now it's 2-2. At least leave Old Trafford with a point. No one's telling you to play a low block. Just go like Carlos Consa, drop down 10 yards. That's it. That's all he had to do. Just go a bit 10 yards deeper, and he would have had at least he would have left Old Trafford with a point. But Man United deserve credit for that comeback. Coming back from 2-0 down in the Premier League is not something that happens often. I think Højlund as well scoring a goal should be massive for his confidence. The only difficulty for Man United is their next game is against the manager who just went to Newcastle away and won 3-1 and has a whole resurgence with Forest. That's the difficult challenge. But I think Ratcliffe is probably just going to give Ten Hag enough time to just sack himself, to be honest with
you. Do you know what's interesting? I said this, we recorded the episode 8 of the squad for Rumble today. And I said it on there and I'll stand by it. If Man United played with the same tempo and same intensity in our 18 other Premier League games this season, genuinely, I believe we'd have at least an extra 10 points. Easily. And the irony in that is an extra 10 points would put us on 41 points, which puts us in a title race. Mathematically, still don't think we're good enough to win. And I say that because far too often do I see football fans talk about tactics, systems, ability. And what I mean by that is all those things are important, but they ignore the fact that without hard work, without high tempo, none of the ability, none of the systems, none of the tactics will ever come to fruition on a consistent basis. The reason why Klopp's Liverpool team have been successful, the bedrock is hard work. Pep's teams, the bedrock is hard work. Of course, then the talent and the systems shine through because it's better than everybody else's. But you'll never get your talent to shine through if they don't work hard. And it impressed me that they worked hard. But at the same time, you said right at the start, this is why people are angry. There is a part of me a day or two later when the euphoria goes away that thinks, how on God's green earth have you not pressed or run and got back into shape or continue to work hard at trying to score in other games where we've struggled? Because I think about when Palace at home beat us as an example, and some people say 10 points is ridiculous. If you actually go through it and you actually look at Man United's Premier League games, I'm going to go back and look at these now and just highlight them. I think to myself, Tottenham away, stop working. Could have got a point maybe. We then, the Arsenal game, fair enough. 3-1 at home to Brighton. We had ample chances, but just as soon as we conceded one goal, we fell away and we stopped trying. There's the Palace one that I've already mentioned that I think we were poor in. I look at Newcastle away. Newcastle haven't been very good, but we just let them boss us and run all over us. We really put no effort into that football match as an example. You got the Bournemouth 3-0. As good as Bournemouth have been, we were just lackluster in that match. Even Liverpool away, if we had a bit more perseverance and a bit more togetherness and we worked that little bit harder, that could have been a bit different as well. And West Ham away. I know West Ham are a decent team, but I watched us and I just didn't see any urgency, that we didn't move the ball quickly. We weren't getting back into shape. I truly believe we could be looking at anywhere between 5 to 10 additional points this season if we just work that little bit harder. So that element I was proud of. I also think you're right. The Unai Emery situation, I think he's a good manager. But it's funny, isn't it, how as soon as he publicly, via one of his players, states they're in a title race, as soon as the media says they're in a title race, what is the first thing that happens? They fail to win the next 2 games, one against Sheffield United, who almost beat them, and then Man United, who are absolutely on our knees. Unai Emery, I think he's very good when he's an underdog. I think Unai Emery is a good cup manager. There's no doubt, a very good cup manager. But I do not believe that man is cut from the right cloth to win a league the size of the Prem or a league like La Liga. Of course, I think any decent manager can win the French league with PSG. He'd probably win the Bundesliga with Bayern Munich, but so most decent managers do. But actually come into a Premier League, go into a La Liga, if he doesn't have the best team in that league, in my opinion, there's no way he's able to do it. Now, no one was seriously looking at them as title contenders, but I do think it shows his underbelly as a manager. So all the gooners saying we should have kept him. No, you should have sacked him. That doesn't mean Arteta's the right guy either. But this revisionism of we should have kept him is crazy because he isn't
and the
good.
same bottled up stuff that season. People forget they were clear as 4th in the league, and they fucked up like 5, 6, 7 games to end up bottling it, and they lost the final in Baku. That's why I'm saying the revisionism over Unai Emery is crazy. This is my problem. Every single, and this is not a new thing because football fans are fickle. We keep repeating the same mistakes. I warned people pre-game, told people, Aston Villa are not in a title race. Aston Villa won't be there come May time. You know why? Because we have multiple evidence from the past. We've seen it with Leicester under Brendan Rodgers. Growing up, we've seen it, me and you, with Everton multiple times under David Moyes. Oh, Everton this season, they could be in there, and then they just end up falling off come February. Like that. How many times has this happened before? There was a year, no exaggeration, where Hull City, I swear it was like November, October, and they were top of the league by like 5-6 points as well. They went to the Emirates, they got a 1-1 draw. Hull City's the Nielsen equalized, I think, that game. So when you're looking at the current situation with the managers in the Premier League, Unai Emery would not survive the pressure of Man United. He already didn't survive the pressure of Arsenal. He wouldn't survive the pressure of Chelsea or any of these clubs. I think the 3rd best manager in the league is either Arteta or Pochettino because they've shown that they can handle a bigger club. And that's just the ultimate reality. Apologies to all the Unai Emery sexuals, all the people who love Unai Emery. But the matter of the fact is, winning trophies at Sevilla and Villarreal and stuff, impressive, and it puts your CV up there. But I'll put it this way. If tomorrow I become Brentford owner, Unai Emery is my guy. If tomorrow I become Liverpool owner, Unai Emery is not touching my football club.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And to your point here, Twisted, he says revisionism, 10 extra Man United points, Terry, you're funny. That's not revisionism. That's talking about if we would have applied ourselves in the same way. When it comes to Unai Emery, Arsenal fans thinking actually he was that guy, there's no evidence of it. as an example. There is evidence, in my opinion, that when Man United work hard and run, they generate better performances and wins. So they're not the same thing at all. But again, good try, Twisted. You try most shows to catch me out. That was a good attempt, but no cigar there. How do you think United will do against Forest, though? How do you see that game go? Most people I speak to are predicting a Nottingham Forest win.
Yes, and you understand why. Nuno Santo has given Forest a massive resurgence. And I look at Man United, and low-key, this is just the been a representative of their season. Draw away at Liverpool and then lose away to West Ham. Beat Villa at home, who are considerably more difficult. And it's just like basically just finishing the cycle, you know? It's like, you know, no one predicts you to win, you win. When everyone predicts you to win, you lose type thing. So I wouldn't be shocked whatsoever if Forest get a victory. And I think they're, in my opinion, probably more likely to get a victory tomorrow, given the way you've been playing, unless they do play with the same heart and passion and desire that they played with in the last 30-something minutes in that Villa game. You know, maybe it's a possibility that Man United do turn up, but it's on Ten Hag, and for him to keep the right balance in the team, make the right substitutions, you know, put his players in a position to succeed. But for me, I'm leaning more towards a Forest win. I really am.
And I understand that. The irony is they actually had quite a good home record last year, or they played well at home, didn't always win. It was probably one of our best away performances last year was against them. Even though they scored 2 early goals this season, different manager, of course, we dominated the proceedings, came back to win 3-2. I think Man United will win this game. I'm not saying it'll be a drumming. I think it's going to be a narrow scoreline, which I'll be revealing later on Golden Goals on the Top 6 show. But I'm going to go with Man United to win this game. And the reason I say that is because most people expect us to lose it. Everyone that's done their Top 6, their Golden Goals predictions that they've sent in so far, all predicted a Man United defeat. So I'm just going to go with the opposite of what people are saying because they're not so objective. But viewers, let us know what you think.